While Ernst & Young, a major player in the global accounting and advisory industry, is under scrutiny in India following the tragic death of a 26-year-old chartered accountant, Anna Sebastian Pereyel. Pereyel died in...
The death of 26-year-old woman employee at Ernst & Young in Pune has shed light on toxic work cultures, work stress and missing work-life balance in India. Now, recently, a similar case from Uttar Pradesh's capital, Lucknow, made headlines. In this case, a bank executive identified as Sadaf Fatima died after falling off her chair at work. Now, Sadaf, who was working at HDFC Private Sector Bank, was rushed to a nearby hospital but was declared dead on arrival.
गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से स्टेप लिया जाएगा इसको लेकर कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड को लेकर तो हाँ तो अच्छा तो रहेगा.
They are not talking about any kind of a work-life balance then. Okay, and later on they find that there is a problem.
Every other sector is having a governing body or a regulatory body, all right. So I think even the workplace culture should have a regulatory body that can implement some laws, mandatory working hours, non-mandatory working hours that should get implemented.
ये जो कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर है जो हुआ मैं दंग रह गया देख के. मैंने लाइफ में कभी ऐसा एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करा था कि मुझे इस तरीके से टारगेट किया जाएगा. पहले तो मैनेजर्स तमीज़ से बात नहीं करते थे, बदतमीज़ी करते थे, मुझसे बदतमीज़ी से बात की जाती थी. मुझे बॉडी शेप किया जाता था मेरा वेट ज़्यादा होने की वजह से. मेरा कैरेक्टर असैसिनेशन किया जाता था. ये बोला जाता था कि मेरा कैरेक्टर सही नहीं है. लड़कियों के सामने बेइज्जती की जाती थी, मेरे टीममेट्स के सामने बेइज्जती की जाती थी. मैं ओवर टाइम करता था, मेरा ओवर टाइम अप्रूव नहीं किया जाता था. मैं
Thank you so much, Anandita, for joining for this Let's Talk show. So today topic is really very burning topic, and of late we have seen that many employees, those are working in the corporate big fours, they are committing suicide, right? And this is something which is the biggest issue which has emerged in the society and the community. And I would like to indicate here the latest issue happened in the Pune, Anna Sebastian, right? She was working with Ernst and Young. And she was a young professional, and the most disappointing thing there, after her demise, nobody attended her funeral there, right? And her mother already wrote, the couple of letters to the management and like this. So you being a clinical psychologist, right? I would like to understand from you that what going on in the mind of the people, because taking this decision of, committing suicide or suffering with some chronic illness because of the pressure, work pressure, which is increasing day by day. Would like to know from the clinical psychologist point of view that what's going on in the mind of these people, so that because of which they are thinking to do something with their life, and this is a big decision for anyone.
Yeah, so Pankaj, thank you first of all for inviting me to your Let's Talk show. I can definitely see the passion you bring into your show and all the work that you do. Thank you so much for inviting. And one thing, I have a master's in clinical psychology, but I'm not a clinical psychologist. However, I do want to shed light into that part because I do work with organizations as well as with individuals, and I have seen both sides of the entire package, the different perspectives. I think when we are talking about something as huge as suicide, it would be very oversimplification, if I might say, to say it happened because of the workplace.
Yeah.
Right? Because all of us are going through those toxic workplace culture, if I might say it. So it's not entirely the same thing. Imagine this. You are a muscular person, you go to the gym, you have a lot of balance, you have a lot of muscles, you have been working with organizations for very long, you work under work pressure, you have developed a lot of skills for many years, right? Now somebody comes and pushes you from the back, or somebody scores you, somebody puts some work pressure on you, the first thing you would do is probably look for another job or try to change that culture in some way or seek support. The very first thing you would do is not suicide, right? So suicide is much more complex because it might happen like Anna Sebastian, you took her name. She was very new to that profession. She was still learning. And probably she assumed the worst, that this is how it's going to be. As we all know, the beginning is always very tough. Learning ABCD was very tough for all of us. But now we don't think so much about it. So I would not say the entire thing can be about the workplace. Having said that, workplace definitely are putting a very wrong kind of pressure, which is why these people are getting triggered. So workplace must take this seriously, right? And we know that this pressure is not just at the entry level. This pressure is everywhere. I mean, in all levels, senior executives, middle management, juniors, and each one of us are negatively pressurizing the other.
Yeah.
Right? A few months back, there was another incident with, I think, HDFC Bank.
Yes,
I,
SDFC.
yeah. So the same. I mean, while everyone was very angry at that manager, I felt a slight empathy for him as well, thinking, what was he going through? What was going through his mind that he was behaving like that? He was even under stress, under heavy pressure, pressure from his seniors probably to meet targets and all that. And he had no better way, no better management skills to manage
Yeah.
his employees. What would you do? You are an L&T person. What would you do if you have to help your juniors meet some kind of targets? You would empower them, you would motivate them, you would do something else. You would know intuitively that just shouting at them is not going to help,
Hmm.
right? So, I
Yeah.
mean, somewhere even he did not know, he lacked that skill, and he was under immense pressure himself that he flooded the other people with.
Yeah. Hmm.
So we say, right, that wounded people wound other people,
Yeah.
right? So I think, so this is too complex. We need to look at these from different perspectives.
Yeah. I would say increasing work pressure and the burnouts which are continuously keep on happening in the at the workplace. Uh, Somehow there is something, beneath this, the people's mindset, what is going on into their personal life, that's also affect. And I think when these both things will augment together, probably when somebody is not able to see the hope to live outside or maybe changing the job or something, and how much that pressure. We are not a pressure cooker which will blow up a whistle over a period of time and cook something, where this is something which is much more related with the life of the people, right? And the kind of decisions people are making is really indicating something else. Now, increasing these all things in the corporates, especially when I was going through one interview recently. The one guy was working with the four big four companies, and they said that there was a yes man culture, yes boss culture. The moment you suggest something, people won't accept that. They will give you a good amount of money, but they will ruin your life. They will, from morning to evening, evening to night, and night to again morning. You will be just keep on working on the system, right? So where are we going? What are we doing with the society and the community? for a overall well-being, you are going for a walk is important. You are taking a gym is important. You are talking to the people, casual people in the society, at the community is important. You are participating in the family functions. That is important. I see when you join such a organization, they won't allow you to give the space for other things. And when you are associated with other things, your mind will get fresh air. You move out of that zone of something which is keep on pressurizing you, and you see little the another way of looking at hope at by meeting people and like this. So the question is, and these things are really increasing. We discussed about Anna Sebastian or the HDFC case. These things are the case which have come into the notice in the media. But how about so many people? Those are burning morning, day, and then the night, and they are unable to even speak out to anyone in the life. They can't talk to their friend. They can't talk to their family member. They can't talk to their internal organizational things, right? So from a clinical that psychology point of view, Anandita, few recommendations what organization need to really take care of their people, and that is called the overall well-being of the people. Please suggest something, and where the companies and the organization, especially the senior management, can see some hope.
Hmm. Yeah, so you said so many things, Percy. I want to acknowledge you for that. So many things come up, the personal life, so many other stresses, right? Like uh, you are working in one workplace, but you are also being told that even the other workplaces are acting the same way. So if you're leaving one job, where are you going to go? Many entrepreneurial ventures are failing. Many people are unemployed. So you still need to eat, you still need to pay your bills. How are you
Yeah.
going to do it? Right? So I think all of those play up in somebody's mind. Uh, and the other part of it, what can organizations do? What can people do? What can senior management do? Firstly, what do we say? Organizations. The organization is not doing anything. It's the people within the organization that are doing something, right? And each person is a little different, right? Each person within that organization is different, which is what something many employees don't see. They say the organization is toxic. I can say, hey, Pankaj is toxic. The organization policies and the other senior management are all good, but my manager, suppose Pankaj, is toxic. Or I can say that, okay, Pankaj is very good. My colleagues are toxic. Or, the policies are toxic. The senior management, people who I don't even know, are toxic. Like when we say toxic, what we really mean? Who are we really calling? We need to pinpoint. We kind of make it we versus the entire world, which is not true, right? So, firstly, we need to look at that perspective. Ask what's wrong with it. What the senior management can do. What the senior management can do is to pinpoint. Firstly, a general awareness campaign, maybe, on mental health, taking it seriously. We think, I mean, I, my profile, I work with leadership and mental health and those kind of things together. And I hear it time and again. Mental health in the workplace, it's not stylish enough. I do hear that, right? But we need to change that. The look of embarrassment people have when they are talking about their own mental health, that needs to change. And for that, each of us needs to take that leadership to talk about our own mental health. To say, hey, even me, all of us have this issue. Can we please work that out? Right? Can we please speak about it? Can we please share what we need? Right? Apart from that, Pankaj, of course, coaching, we both have learned coaching, and it really expands people's minds in diverse ways about their own selves, their own performance issue, their mental health. Of course, these are all related because performance is also important. People will say, okay, I can take care of my team's mental health, but what about performance? What about the bottom line? What about all of that, right? So we need to meet the deadlines. We have our customers that we need to fulfill. So, what about that? So, how to bring all of these together? If we don't consider all of this together
Hmm.
and only keep mental health as a separate thing, then it's not going to improve because
Correct.
organizations are there to make those profits and those performances and to serve the customers as well. We need to do those as well, right? So, how
Yeah.
do we take care of mental health in spite of all of these, right?
Correct.
And apart from that, Pankaj, I think there's so much we can talk about.
Yeah.
Few months, I mean, I don't know, few years also, we have been hearing these things, right? People must get back to the workplace after pandemic. They can't
Yeah.
do moonlighting. I learned that term moonlighting at that point in time. You
Hmm.
cannot do another job. Every time we have a layoff, we have heard people saying the big folks in organizations saying that we don't want it, we don't want to harm any employees, just that the organization needs it. But
Hmm.
organizations have problem if people look at another source of income, which
Yeah.
organization should actually, in today's world, the VUCA world as we say it, where everything is so uncertain, we must encourage people to find another employment, to do some entrepreneurial venture or something like that. So
Yeah.
have multiple source of income so that you don't go complete blank when you
Hmm.
if we lay you off, right? So there are
Hmm.
so many policy changes that are definitely needed, but again, that the senior level executive coaching can actually address those issues as well.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I think it's so complex, right? So many things needs to be
Yeah.
considered.
Correct. So, Anandita, I feel that there is a larger role to be played by the manager, especially with the supervisor role with the colleague or maybe subordinate, right? Take an example of two scenarios. Scenario number A, where scenario A, where the organization is very big, financially sound organization, system, process, culture, everything is there in place, and everything is fine. But if that in that organization the manager is not okay, the manager is doing a lot of micromanagement and asking, giving the unrealistic target to the people, having that unrealistic kind of expectation, and keeping, everything, the kind of social presence or maybe the physical presence of the people, keeping eye on everything, that how much time they spend on the social media and other things, this is the organization A. Organization B is maybe, the organization is not that mature. It's not, culture is not that much evolved. It's okay kind of thing. And yeah, business emergencies and exigencies are there. But if there in this B organization, the manager is quite balanced. If the manager is understanding all the nuances, not doing my lot of micromanagement, allowing people to commit mistake, and manager is very much vulnerable. He shares his failure stories with the people. He shows his vulnerability with the people. I feel here a lot more things needs to be done with the manager. Now, in the both the scenario given, right? Probably the senior leaders has to really understand where certain practices in an organization, which I have seen. So I was asking, a few months back, a question to the group of people there. There are two companies. One is called Tata, another one is called Reliance. Which one would you like to join? Same package, same position. People say, sir, Tata. Why not Reliance? Right, with all due respect to the Reliance people and everything, still people prefer the company which is having the values, which is having the value for the human life and other thing. So where I see, a lot of practices, possibly when somebody new is joining in the organization, how do you take care of that person for the next 6 months? How you take care of the well-being of that person? How you take care of the financials of that particular person? How that person really feels? So where simple, few examples like the CHRO is having one-on-one meeting once they complete the month or so. How are you feeling there? Is there anything which is bothering you? Hope you are taken care well. How was your induction program happened? Is there anything? How is everything in family? So this connects possibly, will help employee to see that the value in the organization. Second thing is there is a system called the mentor and mentee system. Whenever someone new joined here in the organization, to make them understand about the system, process, culture, you handhold with this person, with some senior person who is already there in the system. And handholding doesn't mean the only the organizational things, but beyond that, they can think about that person, they can understand the psychology of the person, they can understand the cultural change which happened from the previous organization to this organization. And this mentor mentee relationship, or maybe coach coachee relationship, may go for 3 to 6 months, till the time this new person will be there in the system, feeling very well acquainted in the system, and he really feels good, he really understands the organization. So most of the accidents, possibly this type of incidents, happen at the first 6 months to 1 year of the joining of that person, because there are group of people, those who are already there in the system, they are running the system, they are successful. New joinees need to really understand the system, process, culture, and especially the mindset of a manager. What are the expectation of my manager? Right. So where this type of program, and calling the consultant like you, calling the consultant like those are really from the good management institutes, maybe the senior person from of any industry, the senior CEO and kind of people. So where these people actually, they can really release the pain area. This is what which is happening, which I am suffering, and which will be immensely helpful for taking care of such cases. And once your name is spoiled in the market, maybe because of the one incident, people will remember this for a longer period of time, and which will completely going to diminish the image of the organization. Right. So I think a corporate need to really understand the importance of such small things. Another important thing is the kind of employee engagement once somebody join in an organization. What do you have to offer with them? To them, right? How do you engage them? If somebody is, it's not a big thing you can do for the people, even a small thing. When some new person is doing some achievement, achieving something, why don't you celebrate that? Come and give that instant appreciation to that particular person. And when you are having the leaderboard, in the leaderboard, let's have a, the all these new joinees over there, right? So possibly when I finish my day, I should really feel that something good I have done, yes, something meaningful I have really contributed. It's not about finding faults. I have seen this. People are reprimanded. People were, taking for the task in the group of, other senior managers. Say, you are not good at this. You are not good at that. You are not completing the task on the time, and you don't meet the timeline. So this type of arguments publicly, when it is given, which has a larger impact on the overall psychology of the people, and people take it on the heart, and probably you can really express this in the better words. Why someone reach to that level when the person is deciding to commit a suicide, or maybe which is impacting the health of that particular person, is suffering with the chronic illness like a hypertension or the blood pressure, or maybe any other disease which is very much fatal in the longer period of time. Yeah, so this is what I think. This is what I believe, that many people can really keep a track of such practices in an organization at least for 6 months. Do not have that bigger expectation, hard hitting expectation from the people till the time they don't get acquainted into the system.
Right, right. So people are, we want quick fixes. We are in that world of quick fixes. We want something immediately to happen, right? Without providing people that space to grow. Even parents expect their children to just be born and do a PhD all of a sudden. So we are in that world, sadly. And thank you, Pankaj, for bringing in so many of the intricacies of the issues of the system, right? So, one, there's those company values, the systems and policies that support those values. That is one level of it. So we need to decide our company values and make systems and processes that are aligned to those values. I'm sure corporates are doing it, but probably I'm not sure if all mid-sized or a little smaller sized organizations are doing it. They need to do it. they also need to take help from experts in psychology and other things to do this properly, right? So they need to take that seriously. One, and then there's this, the different levels in the organization, right? Uh, that's coming down. One person, then their junior, their junior, their junior. So you mentioned about the entry level people who should not be pressurized, but I would like to add that many people who are, say, transitioning a role, even got a promotion within an organization, even they fall into this. They also face a lot of problems. Or say the organization is going through some kind of change. Even that is the time where some kind of hand holding is needed, right? Also, I'm thinking of an interesting case that I have come across where one manager who was a senior head kind of somebody who was saying that I know my junior doesn't treat their team well. And I do not know how to how to be nice to him and help him treat the team well. Of course, I cannot be not nice to him. I mean, he was feeling bad in taking any hard-hitting action on him. But at the same time, he wanted to protect the ones below, right? So those kind of things are also happening, right? So while you have a value system, probably your company has another value system. That can be a problem. So I think, again, it points out to the complexity, which is why that individual attention to such cases need to be done, which we
Yeah.
do as coaches, right? To give individual attention and give expression and voice to the nuances that
Mhm.
every situation brings, every person brings, every person's problem is so different.
Mm. Yeah. Anandita, how and why, somebody takes the decision of giving up for completely from the life? This is the biggest question.
Hmm?
The psychology of that particular person, and I think society, thinking about society is something, which is much, much larger compared to any pressure, any relationship, any event, any job, any work, and or maybe, any work pressure. Why people don't see the option B is also available, option C is also available, and they are finally thinking maybe for that small, period of time, maybe, you may not have that job. So having such a toxic work culture rather than which is impacting on your health, to have not having job at the hand for a few months, or maybe doing something else, building skills for something else. Why? That the mind is not able to think into that particular direction.
Hmm. So, Pankaj, again, suicide is very, very complex, The news sensationalizes, right? Somebody scolds and somebody commits suicide. The father scolds the son and the son commits suicide. It doesn't happen. Suicide is never as simple as that.
Mhm.
Probably they have a very low self-worth, very low self-esteem, and they are not able to see their own value. Probably they have heard from their childhoods that they are not valuable, or that, like suppose you fall. We were talking about falling and having muscles. Suppose you fall, are you expecting people to pick you up? Or do you have the capacity to get up yourself? If you need a year to get back to another job, do you have the resources to go through that time?
Mhm.
Are you expecting that people are going to support you during that time? Or are you expecting that they are going to walk past you
Yeah.
and or they are going to laugh at you? Or they are going to tell you, I told you you are good for nothing. I told you, you should have chosen another career. I told you this and that. So what's the reaction you are expecting from, your family, your friends, your
Mhm.
loved ones, your spouse, your so many other people? Right?
Mhm.
And it is even more complex than that. Maybe maybe you do not actually share a good bond with them like that also. You don't like to be with them, or you do not have any other skill set. You haven't believed, somebody had told you from your childhood that getting a job was the goal in life. After that, it's all sorted, and you never thought you have to do anything else after that. You never thought you had to learn, you had to keep learning. You do not have another skill set, and you are not getting another job.
Yeah.
So all of that, how much physiological resources you have, because you really need to put in a lot of effort to get somewhere else, right? So are you feeling very tired
Yeah.
and you do not have any support?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think whenever I have heard people committing suicide, I have seen, just some days back, I was talking with a very young guy who had cut his hands like crazy. And he was telling me it's okay, it doesn't hurt. And all of this is trauma. All of this is trauma. All this comes from something, some irreparable damage to your system, to your entire body, biology, to your mind, where you aren't even able to see that you don't deserve to hurt yourself. They would even tell you they are not able to feel as much hurt. Have you heard children saying that I don't feel hurt when someone beats me up, because they have been beaten up so much that they have lost that sensation? They are cutting their hands just because they have so much of emotional pain. It feels that when the blood is pouring out, they are feeling a sense of peace, as if some pain is getting out through that blood, something like that. So it is so much more complex. It is very sad why somebody would do that. But what we can do here is, of course, we can send this person to a mental health professional as soon as we realize, right? And often I have seen we are bystanders when we are seeing somebody suffering. We only realize it was this serious when that person has died, when that person has fallen seriously ill. We even think we can manage. Sometimes suicide comes as a surprise. We think we can manage till the time we are on the floor without a capacity to get up. So we don't need to get there to take care of these situations at a time when we still have enough energy to take care, to have social support, right? So yeah, those are the things. And just be kind. I think that is cliche advice we all know, but I think even we all are so tired to be kind all of the time. We don't have enough kindness for ourselves to offer kindness to another person. So can we all take the leadership of being kind to ourselves,
How to
of
do that?
standing up for ourselves?
How to do that? We share few things, which if you think is really important.
So whatever your pain are, can you own it up? That is the first thing. Or do you always want to look sorted? I am such a great human being. I am a muscular. I have muscles. See, I have muscles. So I am such a strong human being. Or I have so much wisdom. I have white hair and all.
Yeah.
And I can't say to other people that I have any problem. I need to, even if I talk about my problem, I must not express that there are any emotions associated with it. I should just say something else. I should just say, the other people are creating problem. The world has this and that problem. So I must sound sorted out even when I'm talking about my own problem.
Yeah.
Do we need that? We don't
Yeah.
need that. I mean, at one point we lose awareness of what we are feeling, of our emotions, of our bodies. So a huge part of the work that I do with people is to bring those awareness back. Something is blocking that awareness,
Mm.
right? So people, I mean, you were talking so much about suicide today, Pankaj. I have seen people are committing suicide on one hand, and then they want to say, oh, it's nothing, They want to act like that. They're cutting their hands and then they are saying it's not much. I mean, I didn't intend to do that. I just was feeling very pain and I was like, I did that. I can get better. No, I don't want to do that. I mean, they just want to rationalize it. They want to make it sound smart. They want to sound smart. So can you first accept that you have any issues?
Mm.
And is it okay? I mean, can you tell others that it is okay?
Yeah.
I have these issues. It's okay. Some other people might laugh if you tell that, okay, I have issues. So if you are
Mm.
not ready for that, seek a professional or somebody who would not laugh.
Mm.
And then as you have worked through that by yourself or with someone else, just own it up. Just go and say, okay, I have this issue. So
Mm.
what? What issue do you have? Let's share
Mm.
our issues and let's create a good bond that is really emotionally intelligent,
Yeah.
right? I
Mm.
think that is one great way to take care of yourself. And then again,
Yeah.
listening to your body, taking care of your lifestyle,
Mm.
right? So uh, maybe, trying to do the work. We are so much into work, we have forgotten to eat. We forget to eat on the right time. We have
Yeah.
forgotten to exercise, do self care, pursue a hobby, give
Yeah.
time at home. Sometimes you are forgetting those things,
Yeah.
right? So, I
Mm.
mean, we must make
Yeah.
1 or 2 hours of those 24 hours for ourselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can't because we are very busy and then there's a deadline, there's a this and that. But even if it is 15 minutes, half an hour to just sit with yourself, I think it is highly doable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice. Thanks for sharing this. Finding time for yourself and finding time to go to the social events, finding time to talk to your school mate, the friends, childhood
Mm,
friends. Find a time to talk to your distant relatives, maybe your uncle, your
mm.
mama, chacha, tau, probably your grandfather, and casually just sitting and having discussion with them, right?
Yeah, I want to pause you
So
here, Pankaj.
yeah,
I want to pause you here, Pankaj. I don't really agree that you always need to talk to your school friends or your Tau and Chachu or whoever.
yeah,
If especially you do not have a good relationship with them, I mean, you can. I'm nothing against talking with them. But many times, maybe we do not align with them very well. Some of us do, some of us don't. If we do, great, right? If we don't, maybe we need the help of someone who's not going to judge us, who's actually going to create that safe space.
yeah, yeah,
If the conversation is going with your chachu is, why didn't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why are you taking this seriously? You are a man, man up, don't cry. I mean, that's not the conversation we really need there, right? So, I mean, to have somebody who would have that kind of conversation. At the same
mm,
time, there's another situation that I have seen that you really align with a friend, and every time you get stressed, you call them up, and then you gossip about the entire world and spoil your own mood. That also happens. So, you both are going into a negative spiral.
mm,
So it's okay to talk to that friend, but notice if that is taking you to a negative spiral, then that's not going to help your mental health,
mm,
right? So for your mental health, I mean, have your relationships, no doubt. I'm not saying don't, but
yeah,
for your mental health, you need somebody who is able to take care of your mental health, actually, who have any understanding of mental health in the first place, and who would take you to a more positive, healthier, happier space rather than throw you into a spiral of negativity and judgment and so on.
Yeah, wonderful. So from our childhood, we have been grown to find and the possessions, positions, money, percentage, degree, numbers, right? Or maybe selections in the competitive exams. We have not been taught to be how to be happy, how to be, relaxed, how to be very jovial with your colleagues, right? So I see a lot of things are there, from the upbringing, the way we are brought up, the way we have been grown up, right? Possibly, this is the time where people need to really understand how we are talking to these people and what we are taking as a objectivity, as a final goal. You earn money, you achieve position, you achieve good, that kind of respect and reputation in the society. But what if you are not happy? What if that doesn't fulfill your, the inner soul? What if it doesn't satisfy yourself? So probably, we need to really think to shift this towards the something which is more intangible in the nature, maybe intangible, but much more fulfilling, right? And which is having the larger effect and the impact on the overall well-being of that person. Right, and it has a large things to do with your overall lifespan, overall well-being, a lot of psychosomatic, the issues and the challenges what people are facing in the society and the community. And these practices, going to the yoga classes, going to the meditation classes, and maybe sitting for a 5 to 10 minutes for the prayer. Prayer doesn't mean, you do so much of all those things, but just sitting in front of a, whatever God you believe, and just giving everything up to them. Right. So these are the few small practices, possibly uh, uh, in the families, or maybe at the workplace, people really need to understand and make them realize the importance of all those things.
Mhm. Yeah. So, apart from prayers, you added like meditation and prayers. You can do many other things, like you can journal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, even if you are not a very religious person, it's okay to
Hmm.
journal. And there are tons of exercises that I actually
Hmm.
help my clients
Yeah.
practice,
Hmm.
that can actually help us into
Yeah.
getting into it, because meditation also has a bad image. If you are
Hmm.
a go-getter kind of person, what I would sit and uh, I mean, they expect that meditation is about going off to some higher plane and flying in the air, something
Uh,
like that. Meditation is nothing like that, firstly.
yeah.
But
Misconceptions
even for
are there.
people
Yeah.
who find it difficult to sit for a long time, there are
Yeah.
techniques, meditative techniques that can help you do that. For example, you can do meditation while walking.
Uh-huh.
You can simply listen to all the things happening uh, around you. That
Yeah.
is a meditative practice as well. Or count
Hmm.
from maybe 100 to 1 backward. That is also a meditative kind of practice,
Hmm.
right? That can help. And you were talking about happiness, Pankaj. I think we would find this in our literature, also mythological literature, also, that happiness is not something to be found, it is something to be created.
Hmm.
We think that happiness is about some kind of goal that we must achieve, but happiness is not like that, right? Wherever you are, you can start feeling happy and satisfied, and then think, for tomorrow I have this goal. But today, whatever I have, can I just accept it and feel satisfied about it?
Hmm. Yeah.
Tomorrow, I can definitely have another goal, because we
Hmm.
think these two are against each other,
Yeah.
whereas these aren't, right? We can have a goal for tomorrow and satisfied for today,
Yeah.
right? So that's one thing. And the other thing that prevents us from being happy majorly is, again, the expectation that we must always be happy.
Hmm.
Every emotion that we feel, happiness is an emotion.
Yeah.
Every emotion that we feel, sadness, fear, anger, shame, disgust, or any other nuanced emotion like feeling frustrated or disappointed or, tired and bored of, all those things are very essential processes for human lives.
Yeah.
If you are pulling them back, pushing them back, in your unconscious, they will keep ruling your life. And if you don't refuse to feel all those emotions, if you refuse to feel all those emotions, you will also not be able to feel happy,
Mm.
right? So,
Yeah.
uh, men especially, what I hear is men especially think that happiness and anger are the things that they are allowed to feel because they have branded them as not emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Anger is not an emotion according to many people. And they say,
Yeah.
I am not emotional. What? How can I feel emotional? I'm such a strong person.
Yeah.
So, that's also an emotion. It's good to realize that.
Yeah. Very nice. Thanks for sharing all these things, Anandita. Any final message would you like to communicate?
You tell me the final message.
I always used to tell people as a final message or at the beginning in my sessions, when you wake up early in the morning, the moment you open your eyes, you see that you are able to see the roof and other objects in the room. It means your eyes are working properly. When your eyes are working properly, your eyes are healthy and working. Thank God. That's the time to show your indebtedness to the God. And when eyes are working, check your other organs. Heart is pumping. Lungs are working properly. Other organs are properly in place. Again, thank God, I'm alive for one more day. Right. Second important thing, when you realize all those things, go to your family members. Find out if your father, your parents are there, if they're alive, if they are able to, live their life successfully. Your kids are good. Yeah, everything is fine in family. Again, thank God. God, thank you so much for keeping my family alive. Right. I'm very
Yeah.
happy. Giving this, and sharing this, in the morning, which will make your day. And life is not, it's not that important that how happy I am. The important thing is how I bring happiness in the life of others. That's probably the purpose. It's not that you smile because of you, how many people are really smiling. And that is why, I always tell people that you have so many people in and around, at your home, at the moment you move out of your home, you will see a lot of people are working there. A lot of people are working as a sweepers. They are working as a cleaner. They are working as a security guard. Go and appreciate one person every day. Those are really putting their hard efforts into their own work. That's what makes you happy. So we don't feel happy when we take something, Anandita. We feel happy when we give, 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 give. Whatever you really wanted to have for yourself, just give it. Just give it and just give it. You will see your life is becoming much more meaningful. And another important thing, many people, they are trying to find out the purpose in everything. And but always, look for it something, which is much more meaningful. Am I really contributing to change someone's life? Am I really, Anandita, believe you me, there are many people are working in an organization day in and day out, day and night. There is no one who can come, put their hand on their shoulder, just tap on them, and then say them, "Yeah, you are doing good work. Thank you so much. You are making a difference." Right. So rather, and everybody wanted to have for themselves. I met 78 years doctor in Hyderabad years back, many years back, and this gentleman was on his seat very much, wearing tie, suit, and properly. And the way he really welcomed us with so much of energy, I said, "Sir, this is 9:45 in the night, and you are with full of energy. I would like to appreciate you first." And he was just wow. He told me, gentlemen, I have been every day like this, sitting like this, but till now nobody came and appreciated me the way you are appreciating. So how poor we are in finding, those small things. It's not that you do so many big things, but the small things really makes a difference in the life of someone. So
Very good.
can I become someone? Can I become that person, rather than waiting that somebody comes and give me? Am I there to give them something? So this is how I see the happiness in and around.
Mm.
This is
Yeah.
my definition of happiness.
Mm. Thank you, Pankaj, for sharing those beautiful messages. I think I also had similar experiences with many people that I met, doctors and consultants, and all like to go and appreciate them, but also like just to treat them as human beings,
Yeah.
right? To treat them as human beings, not just as machines. We are going there, we must listen to them, we must obey everything that they say. And that is the same thing that is true for our organizations and cultures. So
Yeah.
we started with that, right? Organizations, cultures, and mental health.
Yes.
So
Yes.
my message would be that God, you were talking about God also. God has created us as mini gods. God has given us the earth. We decided, okay, let us spoil the natural resources, right? But we can also do good, right? So much of environmental measures are being taken today, right? So we are the creators of that. The same
Absolutely.
goes for the culture we are at. We think we are consumers of a culture, but we are also creators of a culture.
Hmm.
If we think of ourselves as consumers only, we will lose our power. But if we think of ourselves as creators, then we are going to gain our power.
Yeah.
So, what you want to think of yourself, sit and have that conversation with yourself
Hmm.
and choose wisely.
Very nice. Yeah. Thank you so much, Anandita, for sharing your thoughts on this burning topic and burning issue. I feel that this will definitely going to help someone who may listen to this, watch this podcast and the conversation with you.
Thank you, Pankaj, so much for inviting me here. And please continue doing the great work that you are doing. And hopefully, we are going to have many such conversations in the future.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you. And
Thank
thank
you
you
so
to all
much.
of you who have been listening to this for this
Yeah.
long.
Thank you so much, everyone. And do subscribe and share this video with as many people possible. Share the loved ones. You may not know the who may need it, right, at this point of time, going through the toxic work culture or the different mindset. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you, Anandita.
Thank you.